how do we conserve the soil which is being lost? There are various methods to conserve our soil. The first measure is using the land according to its land capability classification. This is one. That means every land is being used according to its capacity. Maybe it's for agriculture or non-agriculture or pasture or any other conditions. So land capability classification, in this there are 8 classes. 8 classes, and each class is rated according to its capacity to go for cultivation. This is very good land, and we can go for any of the crops and with all the irrigation facilities. And next two are good lands, moderately good, and this is okay type of land. And fifth and sixth, these are mainly used for pastures. Pastures and erosion is one of the important limitation of 5th and 6th classes. And 7 and 8, these are used for wildlife and recreation of the land. So these are I have told in very brief, and you can go through this. But I think these are enough to know what are the different classes and in which class what's the range of the land, right? These wildlife and recreation, and also for pasture management, what are the different classes taken up? There may be some questions in the exam, and also these classes have different colors, right? So how I remembered is GIRB. This is GIRB, I just connected this. GIRB, DOP. GIRB, DOP. G is for light green, then yellow, red, blue, dark green, orange, brown, and purple. These different classes have different colors, and also according to its capability they are classified into different classification. The thing you have to remember for exam is the colors and what for they are used. So one measure is to use the land according to its capability, and next one is to prevent the soil erosion, preventive type of soil erosion. We have again two measures like agronomic and mechanical, and also agrostological measures, right? So majorly we talk about two types, that is agronomic measures and mechanical measures. Here agronomic measures are suitable to the land with the less than 2% of the slope, whereas mechanical measures are considered where the slope of the land is much higher when compared to this. So various type of agronomic practices are contour cultivation, and also cropping system, and there are various tillage practices we can go for, and again some cover crops or something using the competitive advantage of the crop. So these are some agronomic methods, and in mechanical methods there are contour bunding and graded bunding, bench terrace, zinc terrace, and also we can have grassed waterways, graded trenches, and there are various different types of mechanical structures like check basins we can use for control of the gully erosion. Also we can have some vegetative barrier. These are some different methods, and we shall know in detail about each one of these methods now. First one is contour cultivation. Contour is nothing but the points across the slope connecting the, suppose this is slope, we are connecting points on the land which are equal in nature. They may not be straight, they may be curved or they may be straight. So in this contour cultivation, based on this cultivation, if we grow the crops on the contours, the erosion can be reduced, since the crop will be there and it can hold the most of the soil, and the erosion can be reduced. Next one is cropping system. In cropping system, there are various type of cropping system like multiple strip cropping, monocropping, double cropping, quadruple cropping, right? If you are using the strip cropping, one row of strip which will be allowing soil erosion, and next strip of the crop which will restrict the erosion. Likewise, we can go for strip cropping. And next one is tillage. Like in conventional type of tillage, the plowing will be taken, harrowing, then planking, leveling, and in modern type of tillage like conservation tillage, zero tillage, the tillage operations are very much reduced, through which the soil erosion can also be reduced. Next one is cover crops. If it covers the whole soil, the amount of soil which can be eroded with that will be very less in amount. So these are some agronomic measures. Now we shall talk about the mechanical measures quite in detail. Right? First one is contour bunding. Contour bunding, here what you have to remember is the the slope at which these measures can be used. Contour bunding is used for the land with the slope 6%, graded bunding 6 to 10%, and bench terrace it will be 16 to 33%, and zinc terrace 3 to 10%. So these are the various slopes which may be asked in the exam. Now contour bunding, as we know, these are the connective lines on the across the slope. Bunding, here if we bund this, bunding is nothing but just piling up of the soil. If we bund it here, the soil which will be moving through the slope, it can be restricted, it can be reduced, and it can also be used for cultivation of different type of crops. Next one is graded bunding. Graded bunding is similar to contour bunding itself, but this graded bunding, this will be very small and nearer when compared to the contour bunding. Next one is bench terrace. Bench terracing is just like cutting the slope of the hill. Suppose this is the slope, this will be cut. Here the soil will be dug out and it will be put here, and it will just form like a steps, just like a bench and terracing. And the slope is here will be, when the land is having 16 to 33%, then this type of terracing is done. Here they can go for crop also can be grown, and also in this there are three different types of bench terrace. Like this may be tabletop or level, or it may be outside facing, or it may be inside facing. So if it is tabletop, here it is used for the rainfall around 750 mm rainfall. If it is outside, here the rainfall will be less than 750 mm. If it is inside, then it will be more than 750 mm of rainfall, and the soil is poor in infiltration. For such soil, it will be, the bench will be faced inside. And here it will be faced outside for less rainfall and medium kind of soil. And this is used for around the rainfall 750 mm and also medium type of soil. This is about the bench terracing. And next one is zinc terrace. Zinc terrace, it will be having, it is also done on the hilly slopes. Suppose this is the hilly slope. If the rainfall falls like this, right, the soil will be eroded from the top to the bottom, and also water will be eroded from top to the bottom, right? So in zinc terracing, what they do is they will divide the hilly slope into donor and receiver or acceptor, right? Donor means it will be donating the water and soil from the hilly area, and this receiver will be leveled. This land will be leveled, and the water and soil which will be eroding from the top, it will be reaching the leveled land. Here the soil will be accumulated and also the water. Here they can go for cropping of any of the different cultivars or the crops. And this donor to receiver area, this varies with the ratio 5:1 or 2:1. That means 5 part of the hilly slope is divided, given for the donor, and 1 part is the receiver land. Otherwise in 2:1, the 2 part of the hilly slope is given for the donor and 1 part is given for the receiver. In these two ratio, the one important or maximum used is the 2:1 ratio of donor and receiver. This type of zinc terracing mainly helps in the hilly areas and where the landslides also occur more in northeastern states. So this will be helpful. Next one is grassed waterway. If there is a gully, there we can go for different types of crops or perennial crops which can hold the soil, and it can reduce the flow or the erosion of the soil and water both. Next is graded trenches, like what we learnt in the contour bunding. If it is bunded, then we call it as a bund. Otherwise, if it is dug out deeper, then we call it as a trench. Again in trench we can go for cropping, or also the water and the soil will be accumulated in the trench. And next one is vegetative barriers or the check dams. Vegetative barriers, like what I told, different grasses will be used, Cenchrus, Celarius or Sesbania, or any of the different grasses which can be cropped in that area in that way, and it can be reduced. And the next one is check dam. Check dam, if the gully is flowing, we can have our check dam implemented here, so that it can reduce the velocity of the flow, and it can reduce the speed of the flow, and the water or the stones in the other way can be reduced, and it can help in the slowing down the water, and also the soil erosion can be reduced. So these are some important measures which are taken for conservation of the soil for water erosion. In water erosion, what we have to remember is the formula and also the different methods and where it is used, why it is used. So we should know the reason, because in exam that the questions may be twisted, like what's the reason for using this in this area, right? So it is very important to know, and I think that is the basic one, and I have explained in brief about the different methods and important points to be taken down. I hope this is clear.